On this episode, I'm thrilled to welcome Chris Tabor, an NFL coach and a true Raven on and off the football field. He is a leader defined by humility, perseverance, and character. He embodies the values of a true Raven, carrying the spirit of Benedictine College with him through every step of his journey. His leadership is rooted in discipline, faith, and brotherhood. These values have shaped not only his approach to the game of football, but his approach to life.
We're down underneath the parking lot area there at Soldier Field, and we've just lost. We're not going to Super Bowl. Yeah. My daughter, she's little. She just turns the corner, and she just bawling. And she goes, "Dad, we're not going to the Super Bowl." And I go, "No, but we're going to go home and eat pizza." And then, as crazy as it sounds, that night, I got a phone call from the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Said, "Hey, no, you just lost. Sorry. We want to bring you in 2 days to interview." And I said, "Okay, let's do it."
Welcome to Always a Raven, a Benedictine College podcast that goes far beyond the brick streets of Atchison, Kansas. Hosted by Janelle Menz, Always a Raven offers a unique glimpse into Ravens from all generations. From where are they now to remember when, these conversations share career triumphs and personal milestones. So whether you are an alum looking to reconnect, a prospective student, or simply curious about what makes Benedictine College so special, join us and discover the enduring power of Benedictine College.
Today, I'm very excited to welcome Chris Tabor to the podcast. Thank you for being here, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Let's just talk about, the beginning. What brought you to Benedictine College back in the late 80s?
Oh, man. Don't date me too much. Yeah. You know what? It was when I got done with high school, my dad went to Benedictine, and my aunt and uncle, my grandma, they lived in Atchison. So
okay.
It was every Sunday we'd go see grandma.
Really?
Yeah. And so it felt very comfortable. I wanted to play football. Coach Wilcox recruited me. I felt grateful for that.
Yeah.
And it felt like a good spot for me. And I don't think there was really, I think in today's age, kids are, I think probably because of social media and those things, they're just so overly recruited.
Yeah.
From different spots, I think, and I wasn't that good, so I didn't have a lot, maybe compared to what kids have these days. But I wanted to go somewhere where I could play. Wanted my parents to be able to see me play and those things, and it's really worked out.
Yeah.
But I did. For me to say exactly what drew me there, I would probably say I was too immature. If you're really calling it really what it, probably too immature to know really at that moment why I picked it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
don't even know if that makes any sense. But
no, it does. It does. Yeah. Maybe your grandparents being here.
You're 18 years old.
Yeah.
Like, really, what is it that you know?
Right.
You have an idea, but
right.
I thought I was going to be a business major.
Oh, okay.
And after my first accounting class, I figured out I cannot do this.
Yeah.
So obviously I changed, but I just think, I don't know. I think sometimes there's gut instincts about maybe where you should go or shouldn't go. And I think that's probably how I got to Benedictine.
Yeah, absolutely. So your home where you grew up was St. Joe, which is about 20 minutes from here, correct? Okay. So were your grandparents from Atchison, or they just they landed here?
So my dad grew up in Atchison.
Okay.
And he went to St. Benedict's.
Yeah.
My mom went to the Mount.
Okay.
But she grew up in St. Joe.
Okay.
And then it was just, my dad, he graduated, went to Mar Hill, then went to St. Benedict's. And I don't think there was really, I can remember growing up, we didn't go to a lot of Benedictine games at the time. And I was, I think, just too young to remember also. My dad was a high school football coach, so he would have games on Friday night. And then on Saturday, he was, we'd watch college football together, and he was working on the next game. So we didn't really travel, go anywhere.
Sure.
But I'm trying to resonate, like, why I picked it. I wish I had a better answer for you.
Divine intervention, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I will say this, I was still scared, probably like any freshman.
Yeah.
And when I first got to Benedictine, I have to admit, my daughter's a freshman at a different school now, but she's going through the freshman first semester. I remember my
Mm-hmm.
first semester, I was like, I don't know if this is the right place for me.
Absolutely.
And then probably well, not probably, as it's turned out, it's been the best place for me. Just the
Right.
friends that I have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's family. I wouldn't even call them
Right.
friends. I would call them
Right.
family,
Yeah.
and
Did you go home quite a bit, like during your freshman year then? Were you just kind
I,
of like,
I didn't, but I would go home because, my wife,
yeah,
she's also a Benedictine grad, and she was a year behind me. She's,
okay.
Nikki Tabor's her name, Nikki Graves at the time.
Yeah.
And she played basketball there, but high school sweetheart. So
Oh, I love it.
yeah, so there was times that I would go back and it was easy. Or you know what? Sometimes kids from other places,
Yeah.
if we wanted to go out to eat and we didn't want to, and we wanted to get out of Atchison
Right.
and we didn't want to drive all the way to Kansas City, then
You should
obviously
go to,
St. Joe was the
mm-hmm.
default.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
I
know.
think it still is, Chris. I think it
Yeah,
still is.
I think it probably is. I think it is.
You know what? I think you're spot on though. It doesn't matter if you're a half hour away from home or I was 7 hours, and I remember that. I remember calling my mom and dad and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. And my mom said to me, I'm 40 years old now and I still remember this. And my mom said, Janelle, we're looking at the same moon. And like that's what I needed to hear, to know that like, okay, I can do this, and it's still, I think that echoes to just people at Benedictine, they want you here and you feel it. Once you give it a shot, with
Yeah,
anything, you got to give it time.
and not tell you what your mom said. We're looking at saying that's an unbelievable answer, and that's
Right?
real. I'm gonna remember that one. I'm gonna use
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, use
Okay,
it.
but there is a lot of truth to that because that's
hmm
just part of growing up,
hmm hmm
and it's really the first time you're on your own. I mean, from the
Yeah.
simple things of, hey, do I wash my laundry in hot water or cold
Right.
water?
Yeah.
Okay, that
Right.
seems like, I mean,
Right.
we laugh because you
Yeah.
do it, but when you take your kid off to college and you dump
Right.
them, I
Right.
mean, there is a cutting of the cord, so to speak,
Right.
but they know that you are still there to support
Absolutely.
them, and I think
Yeah.
I was always comforted by that. But I could
Yeah.
also go over to my aunt and uncle's house, and at that
hmm
time, my grandpa had passed by then. He passed when I was a younger kid, but my grandma moved in with my aunt.
Okay.
So when I went to go see my aunt and uncle, my grandma was there.
Was there? Yeah.
So I was always able to visit, and that was always, I guess, looking back, I never really thought like this. Probably a little bit of my childhood. As a kid, I'd always go see grandma on Sundays.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm in college, where you feel like, am I really supposed to be here? Then you go over and see your grandma and your aunt. It brings back a little piece of your childhood, and you say, yeah,
hmm
it's good.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a place where I can escape, and
Yeah.
that was
Absolutely.
cool. It
That's
was nice.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So as time evolved, you played football here, your wife played basketball here at Benedictine. Just was as talk about that, like, okay, the years are going by and just different. Do you have any memories that just have stuck with you through the years?
Yeah, yeah. I have my memories I have really are not even about playing.
Yeah, sure.
It's really about, it's about the guys. Like, this would be way before your time, but President Menace told me this, and I did not realize this at the time. But when I went to Benedictine, it was very close. Enrollment was down, and it was
hmm
very close to closing the doors.
Yeah, yeah.
And I never knew that. Which, if you think about that, that shows you what a great job
hmm
they did.
Absolutely.
And that, because that never even crossed my mind. We had probably one of the best teachers I ever had, and God rest her soul, her name was Sister Celine Kerrigan,
Okay.
and she had taught at University of Notre Dame, and
Okay.
and growing up, I was a huge Notre Dame fan, football fan.
Sure, sure.
So she had taught there, and I would always go visit her, and she would have stories about, I taught Tony Rice, who was the quarterback for the national championship team when Notre Dame won, and those things. But she was probably the most brilliant English teacher I have ever been around. And I can just remember that feeling of like, and I say this because as a coach, you think that you're a teacher,
Yeah,
and you should be. But
right,
I want that feeling of what Sister Celine gave me, was
right.
like, she was so, how can I say this? she was demanding and you didn't even know it because she
Yeah.
was so nice and so sweet.
Sure.
But at the same time, if there was an assignment due, you better not go ask for an extension.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yet she just made everyone feel so important in the way she taught it and made you look at things
Yeah.
and how to write things and express yourself. I'll never forget her.
Do you feel like that's kind of an intrinsic tough love kind of attitude about like yourself, but then also I feel like sisters and nuns just have a lot of them have that candor about them that's like, come on, you could, I know you can do this, and we're not gonna
Yeah,
shy away from it.
she was so supportive. It was like you didn't you know how you don't want to let your grandparents down.
Yeah, yeah,
I would say it was that.
yeah.
She
The
was
disappointment, like if she would say, I'm disappointed in you, that's almost worse than getting an F on the paper,
oh
right?
yeah. I would have been crushed. I would have been absolutely crushed.
Yeah,
She was special, but there was a lot of good teachers there when I was there. And like I say, I can't believe, and I know what Benedictine looks like now. It's
yeah.
thriving. What
Hmm.
President Menace has done is, in my opinion, is unbelievable. In
Right,
fact, I
right.
told him I was able to come back for a game a few weeks ago, and I saw him, and I said, "Well, I said, good news for you is I said we're never going to let you retire." You know what I mean? Because I'm so proud of him what he's done
Right,
there. But when I went to school there, it didn't look like that.
right, right. And
So,
same for me too, and I think that's a good thing though. Wouldn't you agree? Like
oh
it's
yeah,
good
no,
that it's good.
I've said it, like I'm actually, and I mean this in the most positive way. I'm jealous of the kids that are there,
Right, right.
and
Hmm.
I'm very proud
Hmm.
of the time that I had
Hmm.
there. And
Hmm.
and and it does. I mean, St. Augustine Hall. I don't think it's called St. Augustine anymore.
Turner, right?
It's Turner.
Turner, yeah. And that's
Okay.
one thing, say, since being back, Chris, I call things the wrong names all the time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where I am.
Oh yeah,
I
and I think
just,
the other hall right across it, I think it used to be called Newman.
I
I
think
don't.
it still is, though.
Is it
It's still
really?
no,
That's
yeah, yeah.
okay. And I think there was a girls' dorm across, which is kind of across from the gym. I think it might have been Memorial Hall, maybe.
Yeah, and now
When
it's I think there's a saint attack. This is pathetic. I'm sitting in a building and I should know these names.
no, that's okay. You can't memorize everything.
But you're right, because even like the student union is JP too, and they're all wonderful, beautiful names. But us old school people were like, wait a minute, but what?
Oh
Like,
yeah, no, I just think it's neat. I'm excited to see what the library is going to look like when it gets
yeah,
done. I mean,
yeah, yeah,
obviously what they build up on campus. I mean, the grotto was never there. I mean,
yeah.
like if I could take some kids with me now and we could, go back in time.
Right.
Yes, those steps that
Yeah.
those were there,
Right. Right. Right.
but that's just the hill,
Right.
and it's nothing. I just think to me the campus has such a beauty to it
It does.
that like it's I wish I'm not going to be very good at describing my feelings. I just think it's so awesome. Even
Yeah, it really
even the
is.
littlest things, even just the landscaping,
Mm-hmm.
which
Mm-hmm.
I think people probably take for granted. Hey, there's some
Sure.
flowers.
Sure.
No,
Sure.
somebody had to have the idea to do that. I mean, when I went, it was
Yeah.
just there were the steps, there was a path that went off because obviously that was a shortcut, and you could
Right.
kind of see where
Right.
maybe I should take
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a neat place, and like I say, uh, the memories that I have, not it's not about the plane, it's about the guys, about the
Right.
girls.
Right.
I mean, there was only a couple places to go out
Right.
in Atchison, and one
Mm-hmm.
of them doesn't even. Well, I'll tell you what. No, I take that back. Two of them don't even exist there anymore. So I don't. So when I went there, this bar that was a little outside of town. It was called Q's, and
Okay.
it wouldn't have been there when you
Uh-uh.
were there.
Mm-mm.
So
No.
the guy that owned that, he was my brother. My older brother went there too.
Okay.
He was my brother's godfather.
Okay.
So we would go out there and work on like Wednesday night or Friday night, not during
Sure.
the season. And
Right.
then And then right next, where Mueller's is at, still on the corner. Well,
Yep.
there was an attached place to it that my generation, they called it Kibby's. It was like,
I've heard about it. Yeah.
yes, yeah. It was bar dance, the whole deal. That doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-mm.
But you said you moved to Atchison, and
Yeah.
things are changing, and Atchison is growing and doing a really nice job. It's like I've been going there since I've been a little kid.
Right.
So I recognize things like when I come over the bridge, take the right, and we're going to go up the hill to go to campus. Like I can notice everything that's different there.
Absolutely. Well, what I think is really cool is, through the years, the simplicity factor doesn't change the innate intrinsic heart of this place.
Yeah.
And even though it may be prettier, there's more buildings, there's more landscaping, there's more flowers, and it's all wonderful, but it doesn't, even though all of that now exists and it didn't when we were here, it's still the heart of it, and the simplistic nature of connecting is still the same.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah,
because think about it, your experience, it was beginning to thrive.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there when it was about to close its doors.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But you and I both still have the same connection.
Exactly.
Of how we feel. So I guess in the land itself, it bred compassion, love, caring.
Absolutely.
All those things. Because what is it? Right across from campus, there's like, what would they call those, row houses? If you're
now they do, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So when I went to school there was this old, those didn't exist. And there was this old beat down house right across the street. And
was it white? Was it white?
It might have been, and it was. I mean, and we had some. I would say people that like to have a good time that lived in that house.
Sure.
And you just thought, like, so when I come down that street and I see those row houses now, and you're like, oh my gosh, that looks so much better.
Right. Well, my senior year, we lived in the white one that was right across from the sign, and it had a little tilt to it, and it was an on-campus house. And I was like, we're gonna be lucky to survive out of this thing, because and the year after I graduated, or shortly thereafter, I shouldn't quote that, it got torn down, and rightly so.
Probably got torn down by just a little knock with a baseball bat.
Exactly right. Okay, so let's fast forward. You graduate, and then obviously it's been a minute for both of us, but talk about how life unfolded for you.
Life unfolded a lot of different. I wanted to, my story is like everyone's story. Everybody has a story, and mine was, I wanted to get into coaching.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I started off very slow. I was a high school coach, went to go be a junior college coach, to a small college coach, to I finally got to be a graduate assistant, which is really a lot of work for no money. And,
where was that at? That was
at the University of Missouri.
Okay.
And what happens there is I'm doing it for 3 years, and I had a couple opportunities to maybe go, at a better paying job, because I think I was making. My wife, we were married. She was a school teacher, elementary ed, and she was the breadwinner. We didn't have kids yet, but I might have been making, I want to say, maybe $5,000-$6,000. I wasn't
a
making.
Year?
Yeah, a year. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, you're really doing it. You know what I mean? So we do that for 3 years. I passed on a couple of other opportunities because I think, well, maybe something will happen here. And sure enough, it did. University of Missouri, I got to become full time.
Awesome.
So my pay increased, and I thought, this is great. I'm from the state of Missouri. It's my home state.
Yeah.
Boom. Well, we lost that year. We didn't win enough games, so we all got fired. So I'm right back to square one. And at the time, my wife is pregnant with my oldest.
Okay, what year was this?
This would have been 1999, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, 99.
Okay.
And there you are. You got no job. Can't find a job. So then from there, I left the University of Missouri, and I went to be the head coach at Culver Stockton, which is in
Okay.
the same division with
Yeah.
Benedictine. And I
Yeah.
just did that. I just did that 1 year because I had an opportunity to go be a coach out at Utah State at Division I school, and I thought that's what we wanted to do. And my wife and I talked about it, and we're like, we don't know anybody out in Utah,
Yeah.
zero, but
Right.
we did it. And I said, we won't be there very long. We'll be
Okay.
in and we'll be out.
Yeah.
We were there 4 years later.
Oh gosh.
Did not anticipate that.
Yeah.
And then from there, we went to Western Michigan University, which is in Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Okay.
And we were there for 2 seasons. And then from there, I got to go to the Chicago Bears. And
Okay.
that was kind of my breakthrough because
Yeah.
one of the guys that was working for the Bears, we worked together at the University of Missouri. We were very close friends. And
Sure.
it was kind of one of those deals.
Yeah.
So we were there for 3 years. And I'll never forget it because my last year I was there, we lost in the NFC Championship game. Had we won, we're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we lose. And one tradition that we have in our house, and it originated with my dad, after high school games, we'd always go home and we'd eat pizza. We'd eat pizza and we'd watch KQ2 News and get all
Yeah.
the scores and we'd do
Yeah.
all that. So that's what we did. So after every football game, I always come home and we get pizza.
Yeah.
So we're down underneath in the parking lot area there at Soldier Field, and we've just lost. We're not going to the Super Bowl. My
Yeah.
daughter, she's little. She just turns the corner, and she's just bawling.
Oh.
And she goes, Dad, we're not going to the Super Bowl. And I go, no, but we're going to go home and eat pizza. So we drove home, ate pizza. And then, as crazy as it sounds, that night, I got a phone call from the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Said, hey, no, you just lost. Sorry. We want to bring you in 2 days to interview.
Holy smokes.
And I said, okay, let's do it. So we went to Cleveland, and then we were there for Cleveland 7 years. And
Oh,
really,
wow.
it's a very special place for us, probably because by then, when I was in Utah, I had my youngest daughter. So both our daughters really grew up in Cleveland.
Yeah, sure.
And that was it. I think what I found out just talking to people, really, because my hometown is St. Joe.
Yeah.
I don't know what my girls would say. I think they would say Cleveland,
Yeah.
but they also say we really don't. It's like our hometown is our family.
Sure. Yeah.
And but Cleveland was cool because that's where they made a lot of their friends and so forth and so on.
Yeah.
But then from there, I went back to Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And because Cleveland, we weren't winning, and I'd been there 7 years, and I was, I don't know, this flaw. It really bothers me to lose, and it just eats from me from the inside out. I have a tough time with it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better at that. I'm seeing the brighter side. But so the Bears had a spot. I go back over to the Bears for 4 years, and then that whole staff got fired. So then I went to Carolina the last 2, and we were at crossroads in Chicago because at the time, my youngest daughter's in high school. And when we went to Chicago, I promised her that I said, you'll finish high school here. You won't have to move. And we gave her the option and said, we had a family meeting. We all going to move to Charlotte?
Yeah.
Or you want to stay? And she said, I'd like to stay. And I said, okay, Mom, you and Mom will stay. And then I just had a little apartment, and we kind of came back and forth. And that wasn't, I always said I would never do that.
Yeah.
We did it. We made it work because we are a tight, strong family. But I hated it. I hated it. So
yeah,
fast
I couldn't
forward to
imagine.
now, yeah. So then there was a coaching change in Carolina. I got to stay. Mm-hmm. Then last year, thinking things are great, the head coach gets fired. I become the interim head coach, which means you're not going to have a job at the end of the year. And it actually worked out great because my daughter's senior year, she was a good soccer player. And the previous year, I probably only saw maybe 2 of her games live. I'd always have to watch them on the internet because she played during the week and I'm at work in Charlotte.
Right.
So this last spring, I was able to watch. I didn't miss 1 game. So it stinks that I'm not coaching right now, but I think when you look at things,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can be blessed in different ways.
You can. Yeah.
And that was it.
I
I
think
got
you're
to.
better at seeing silver linings than you give yourself credit for because you just talked about one. You don't not a fan of losing, but you look at that silver lining to see your daughter play in her senior year. That's pretty awesome.
No, it is pretty cool. And somebody gave me a good piece of. Well, they said it the best. They said, if you didn't have faith, then really, what is it you have?
Right.
And
Right.
you're like, yeah, okay, that's pretty easy. But then if you take it a step further and you say, has he ever let you down?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It never has. So
Yeah.
things are working out.
Yeah.
I'm on the coaching break right now, waiting
Sure.
for the next cycle to start.
Yeah.
And then, hopefully we get hired by somebody and off to work we go.
Was it like in the back of your mind as things have evolved through your career, have you thought like was it just like that's the goal? Like NFL's the goal, that's the pinnacle of where I want to go or
No, I wanted to be like, so for me, like my dad was my idol.
yeah.
Um, he was he taught President Menace.
Oh,
Hmm. In fact, President Menace always tells a story that my dad said when he was teaching him, said, "Hey, yeah, you got to go to Atchison and give Benedictine a shot and see what you think." Yeah, yeah, yeah. He always tells it. I'm always thankful
so
when
do
he
you
tells that story.
you're like it's because of my dad that you've been so successful, President Menz. You're
I
welcome.
tried to rib him a little bit, but no, I wanted to be him because he was. I just grown up as a kid
Yeah.
playing in the yard, and then all of a sudden, here comes a car, and they stop, and it's a guy that played for my dad, and he says, "Hey, where's your dad at?" And I was like, "Oh, he's inside." Oh, I just wanted to come over and see Coach. I thought that was cool.
Absolutely.
I thought, wow, my dad's a cool guy. He's touched people. So no, I never wanted to get to the NFL. I just wanted to coach. Now, what I did find out was when I student taught and did my student teaching in high school, I didn't like it. When I student taught elementary, I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought that was the bomb. I thought it was awesome. Little kids, I mean, like and I was just doing PE, and I
Yeah.
shouldn't just say it, but
Not just. Yeah.
when they came in, I mean, they were ready to go, and you
Yeah.
had to be ready to go.
Right. Right.
And guess what? They weren't worried about anything, and I just thought, man, just learn from them. When I went to
Yeah.
high school, obviously a lot going on with high school kids,
Right.
and it just I didn't enjoy it as much. So
Mm.
that's what kind of pushed me. I said, well, maybe I should try to get into college coaching
Yeah.
because I like to coach, and that's teaching to me.
Sure.
But
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. So that's kind of how it went. How my career has gone. Uh, I've never said, oh, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. It's kind of happened,
Mm.
and I don't know. I think there's always, sometimes I do think I get a chance to think a lot now. Is you there comes divides. You have
Mm-hmm.
choices,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I always wonder, what if I would have gone? What if I
Yeah.
would have said at the University of Missouri, you know what? This isn't the job I really want, but it's a better paying job. We just got married. We're not
Yeah.
making anything.
Right.
We can start off and live happily ever after.
Right.
What if I would have done that? Where are you?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so I think it always works out.
Right. Well, what's been kind of cool to listen to you talk about how you guys have moved a lot, obviously, with how your career has unfolded, but you've, especially in Ohio, you made that community where it was, which is so the same as Benedictine, right? Like
Yeah.
it is, because the community that is Benedictine is because of the people and, home is where your heart is. And that's reflective of the people you surround yourself with.
No question. No, and I tell you what, we've been blessed everywhere we've gone to meet
Yeah.
really new people. Like right now, we're living in Florida, and in some ways, so the community that I'm in, it's a little bit probably more of a retirement community.
Yeah.
And they're older than what I am and my wife, but to listen to them talk, and we've become
Yeah.
really good friends with a bunch of them. It's neat, and to hear their stories.
Right. I don't want to say it's lost in our current world, but I think all the noise and social media and just we're inundated with information, right? Like the art of looking to older people and learning from them and soaking in what they experience. There's such an art and a beauty to that I hope it makes a comeback. Just listening to people and what they experienced, to your point of like when you were here and the colleges was merging and all the things that were happening. And, it's just, I think what makes the world go round,
No question. Think about it. If Benedictine would have closed its doors while I was there, like what is that piece of land now? What are those?
Right.
Now there's not enough land to build the buildings that they want to do.
Exactly.
It blows me. It blows me away.
Right. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, Chris, I just want to thank you. Like this was wonderful. We could probably talk for hours and hours. This was great. I really appreciate just your insight, and you're a true testament to just going and reaching for high goals and doing great things. So thank you for all of that you are and that you do. I wish you the best of luck. Hey, thanks for joining us on Always a Raven. New episodes will drop every Tuesday, and you're not going to want to miss any of them because we've got some pretty amazing guests coming up. They are reigniting the hearts of Ravens throughout all generations across all industries, and they are incredible. Be sure to like and follow us on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss any episodes. And if you're a new Raven or a potential Raven, be sure to check out our website at benedictine.edu. And remember, once a Raven, always a Raven.